Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your end of May 2022 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here, your fellow Sag. So I have skin in the game. Let's see what we do here. For making this a good reading. All right, well, it's in this position, so two cards are coming up here, the Hangman and then let's see, I'll pick one from here. Pick an additional card. That's more like it. Heart of the matter, Seven of Cups. I think this is connected to Neptune, so there can be confusion, there can be wishful thinking about something, maybe a goal of yours, maybe. This is definitely a card of a lot of options in your life. Jupiter has now gone into Aries, and that can be very harmonious with Sag, because it is harmonious with Sag, because it's a fellow fire sign, and this is in the 5th house that is going into, so it's all about romance and creativity and pleasure. And this can be a card of having a lot of options. If you're somebody who is single, maybe it's like a kid in the candy store or something. But you know, the ruler of Sag is Jupiter, and even though, and I did end with a card that's associated with Jupiter and Pisces, but one of the downsides of Jupiter is it can be too much of a good thing. So Sag has to narrow things down sometimes and not just be, you know, sometimes we're very, what's the word? Unfocused and just kind of like looking for the low-hanging fruit and not really thinking about what it is that we want. And it can be too easy to be distracted by bright shiny objects. So there might be this loss of focus that you have to contend with. And this is coinciding with the Mercury retrograde, which happens to be in the opposite sign of Sag, Gemini, but towards the end of the month is going into Taurus, which is 6th house for Sag. So this could have some kind of work connection. And so if these are like job offers and you are very, you're not being very discerning, your head may be kind of cloudy for some reason, you might be a little bit too undiscerning, if that's a word, and you're not really judging things properly. And that can also apply to any potential person that you're dating. In the past position, we have the Hierophant connected to Taurus, and also connected to spiritual matters and marriage. So somebody who is maybe coming out of a marriage or committed partnership, and you're like I said, you're a kid in the candy store wanting to play the field, but that's a great way to be very unguarded with your energy, like spreading yourself too thin, instead of maybe taking a step back. If you have had some kind of ending of a marriage, that's a definite transitionary period, and you want to honor that and not necessarily just run out there and start doing things. The 7 of Cups, I think, can be a problem with drinking. It doesn't have to be yours. It might be somebody that you are connected to, and are you in denial over this? Because maybe you didn't know especially if you've just married the person. Maybe that's what the Hierophant is in the past position, that you just recently got hitched and that person hid from you that they had this issue. And that can be very upsetting to realize after the fact that you're dealing with this. It's not an easy thing to deal with. If you're dealing with this personally, then it might be that God has come back into your life and you are being a lot more deliberate in your actions. The higher message is the Knight of Pentacles. This is a card of the work ethic. And I extend this to, being consistent in your life, having, having your routine. And this can be a saving grace when you're going through a lot. Like if you are going through some kind of confusion in your life, Sag, fire signs tend to live in the moment and not just do things deliberately. But with that Mercury retrograde going back into your 6th house, which can be about your daily routines, this can be a great time to rethink those things. And if you don't have a daily routine, to start one. Some of these self-help gurus really speak a lot about having a morning routine. I think there's even a book called The Morning Miracle or something like that, because it can increase productivity. And it's not to say that productivity is all about you have to be some kind of machine that is producing. It's because if you have goals that you want to reach, but you still want to have time to yourself, to have freedom, that is, for those of us who are Sages, that is our middle name, is freedom. You have to have some kind of system going on where you can really get what you need to get done, and then you can play, or you can just explore, or you can meditate and not have to watch the clock and those kinds of things. And so that might be a theme that's coming up for you at this time, and the astrology supports that. What crosses you is the King of Pentacles. So if you are with somebody who is a materialistic person, so if this is your spouse, or if you are working for somebody like this, this is going to be a problem for you, because this person doesn't want you to, they want you to produce monetarily. So a boss who your worth to them is how much of a profit that they turn. Is that kind of a boss going to be supportive of you? No, because they're going to be first and foremost concerned about money. And that usually means that the person that is working for them, the people that are working for them, are going to be treated like objects. And the problem with that is that human beings have needs, they have situations that they're going through, and it can feel very uncomfortable to work for somebody who sees them as, sees them through dollar signs. Same with a spouse. If you are, maybe you have lost your way in terms of what you want to do career-wise, and you feel like you're dealing with someone who is very, like if you're married to somebody or living with someone who is like, you need to bring in the money. Why are you going and wanting this artistic career? That's so unreliable. Stay where you are. You know what? That lunar eclipse in Scorpio, that could be bringing up some things for you. But also, I was going to say too, I'm just trying to think about this. What I was thinking of was, I'm trying to think of something that has recently occurred. That is, so in back in March, there was a full moon in your 10th house. So we're talking about a couple of months ago. For some Sages, this may have been something that came to a head in terms of your career. Some of you may have left a certain career or have started contemplating leaving it. And if you discuss this with your partner and they were unsupportive, that could be that King of Pentacles energy. What's coming in, we have 2 cards. One of them is the Hangman. Kind of like the major arcana version of this, not totally, but they're both connected to Neptune, I believe. So there's that sense of not knowing, the sense of being in this state of limbo for some reason. If you have applied to different places of work and are waiting to hear, remember that we're in a Mercury retrograde. Things may get delayed. Don't give up the hope that you're going to hear from things. But the Hangman, the thing I like, the interpretation I like of the Hangman is this idea of letting go and letting God, because it's like doing what you can do in that situation. Like, for instance, if you send your resume somewhere, then you let it go. You're not like worrying about it anymore. You're leaving it up to the universe. And then we have the 7 of Wands. This is standing your ground. So if you are in a situation where maybe you don't know what is, it's funny because the 7 of Wands in this deck is really in a defensive posture, but in another deck I have, it shows like a single flame. So tending that inner flame. I really see the 7 of Wands, due to that depiction of it, as because number 7 is about art and meditation, the interior life, rather than this exterior thing. And so with the Wands, it's really about the individuality. So it's like fighting for your right to personal autonomy as it pertains to your acts of creation and your spiritual life. Because someone may be trying to kind of, like I said, maybe you have been getting involved in spiritual pursuits, but there's somebody in your life, kind of an authority figure, who's trying to tell you that what you're doing isn't bringing in the bucks. And you might have to stand your ground with somebody like that, because they are more of a materialist. They don't get it. The outcome is the 4 of Cups, really seeing where life is feeling dissatisfied for you, where you're not getting your needs met emotionally. And this could even be not necessarily with a person, but with an activity that you're engaged in, that you are investing your energy in, that you could be doing something that is more fulfilling for you. And then along with that, I got the 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment, that sense of getting what you want. So the reason that I picked this card was that I don't like to leave with the 4 of Cups, because I want to leave, obviously I want to leave on a positive note, but I can't just keep picking cards. But I just thought, okay, let's get a clarification card. And so what I take from these 2 cards, they're both cups. They're about emotions. But one is the side of life that Sag is not interested in, the 4 of Cups. You're not interested in being dissatisfied. Now, you might say to me, but are you telling me that other signs are into that? I wouldn't say that they're interested in it, but they're acclimated to it. There are some signs, you could even say the water signs, that they are, it's not even about being overly negative. It's more about, like, for instance, Pisces, sometimes internalizing the belief that life is about suffering, that life involves suffering, and that, you know, it's just par for the course that people suffer. So if they're not happy in their life, that's just their karma. That's just the way it works. Sag believes that we are deserving of abundance, and that's what the Nine of Cups is all about. Now, yes, it is emotionally, but it can also speak to, you know, financial affairs. So I think another thing about the Knight of Pentacles is take comfort in your work, take refuge in your work, whatever that work is, even if it's of a mundane nature, until you are getting wish fulfillment. Do what you need to do on a daily basis. Be, you know, have that structure, and then you will get your needs met and then some. That's what I have for you, Sag. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a personal reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.